have like a Japanese lantern light with shelving underneath it. And I put more crystals there. I'm like, oh, I got extra space for crystals. And I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is way better.
Kudos to you for listening and getting curious.
Underneath it, then put more crystals.
There you go. I realized I wasn't recording, so I had to go back and get that. Um, I too have been realizing, like, how do I situate myself to look out the window? Nature, right, is vitally important to me. I remember one time when I had a huge breakup, like the last one, one before, I should say. And I was like, there's no way I'm moving into a basement apartment. Like, like, I knew, like, I'm not going to heal. I'll get depressed, something, I need the light, right? I need to see the nature and have the light. So, speaking of light, got mine. And, if you choose an element of or our smell nature, right? I chose a incense today. We can light that together now as well. Or if you already have some essential oils going, or you wanted to put some on for yourself. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to bless this container. May we be free. May we take away what's in the way, out of the way, for that to occur. This deeper connection we're creating, and how we get to learn to love ourselves. As I clear myself, I have the intention that I am also clearing for you all as well. So we took quite a journey together, didn't we? And initially, I called this a graduation. But as I started sitting with it more, I prep like what's moving through me for us, this specific container. And some things came up and over the weeks, but even yesterday it was, pretty potent. Um, that this is it's really we learned the foundational pieces. So in a sense, we're not even graduating from that. Because to be honest, when we keep going, all these poses that you learned are very much a part of my regular practice. I never stop doing them. They are the foundation for a reason, because they are potent, they work, they're reliable, they're effective, right? Our mind sometimes goes, what else? What else? What else? But there's a simplicity that comes with going, wow, this works. Just, you've heard me say this phrase a bunch, but lean in, not just lean into your bones and your body, like lean into what works. It's so glorious, isn't it? When we go, I don't have to look for another coach. Like I once when I found Tiffany, like maybe eventually, at least she's going to be with me for a chunk of a season. Um, Once I've started getting really, I'm just using the analogy of coaches, but really potent practices and coaches and people, you don't have to look anymore. It takes a lot of time to look and search and filter. So it's not so much a graduation as, wait, this is blowing right on me. Hold on one second. It's distracting me a little. There we go. Um, it's not so much a graduation because as you can hear 18 years later, I will never graduate from what alternate leg can give me. There might be a season where I can't do an alternate leg for whatever reason. You know, there's been no, I haven't really had that season, but I've had seasons of like, I can't do lunge right now. I must do my JP differently because I awakened a layer that was underneath that's like, pow, or I injured myself in some way and I couldn't physically do it. But really what this is a homecoming. So we're in a homecoming ceremony today that also continues. And I found out yesterday one of my teachers, I didn't work with her that much, but her name was Carolyn Elliott. I don't know if you've heard of her. She is a master in mystery arts and sciences. And she, see if I can see the other. Yeah, she took her own life. I found out yesterday.
Sorry.
Do a little round here for her. That she find that her soul finds the right path. I'm understanding there's some paths once we let go of this body that of trickery, shall we say, potentially. And so may her soul find the right path. In fact, there was somebody, I can't remember who it was right now, but there's someone who's like, the ceremony used to be, I'm going to sit with you. Like the family and friends would sit and kept telling the soul, go this way, go this way, go this, don't get distracted by that. And I started to realize, oh, that's why they sat and did that for them for 3 days. They made sure that soul ended up in the right space, you know? And so may she find that right space too. But as I was going through some of her Facebook page, I saw her talk, and I kind of remembered this from years ago, but she talked about calcination, and I was like, oh, this is perfect for us. Because what have we been doing? Going down to the roots. Like, what's causing this pain? What's causing this tension? What's causing this distraction? What's causing, the things that are keeping us from our aliveness? And from an embodiment perspective, it's to the root is our tailbone.
What was that last bit?
Our tailbone.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so her definition, uh, I lost some of my notes, but I realized right beforehand, I was like, wait, where's I was reworking, our ceremony, and I thought, and I was working it with chat a little bit too, and it lost some of it, and I didn't realize it till a little bit ago, so I had to search for it again. So anyway, I found 3, and I thought which is good. We only had 1 yesterday. But I thought this relates to us so deeply. The burning away of false roots. Calcination, calcination, calcination. The burning away of false roots, the identities, which by the way is something that we can work on in your sessions. I do identity work, not just spinal decompression work. So burn away the false roots, the identities, attachments, beliefs, and structures that keep us rooted in fear rather than truth. Fear is a part of what's going on down in the tailbone. When we release our tailbone, if we're having a fear experience, we can literally pause, get on the floor or get in a chair, do a tailbone release and start melting that fear. And then the other two are variations where calcination is the first stage of alchemical transformation, where the false self is burned away so the true foundation can emerge. That's all tailbone work, right? Calcination is the burning away of false roots so we can become rooted in what is real. And so what has been keeping us from the real are these tension patterns, right? They're guarding, they're bracing, they're keeping away from us what's inside. And it's been more than 12 weeks, but you might hear me just say 12 weeks because it was intended to be 12, right? So we've been lifting this and finding not just relief, but different ways of being. So, and we share them with each other and celebrate each other, which is wonderful. So I'd like to take a moment and invite you, I can put this in the chat, uh, to just a couple minutes, okay, of a journal prompt. And one, oops, here we go. One is the woman I'm becoming. Spend a minute on that. And then the other is, I now trust my body too. And you could write it on paper if you want. You can write it in chat, whatever you prefer. One more minute. Ten more seconds. Go ahead and wrap up there. And I'd like to invite us to share the woman I'm becoming, and I now trust my body too.
For me, I came into this having a sense that this was going to support a deep release on really old trauma from my childhood. And that included physical and sexual abuse. And I literally saw my craniosacral massage therapist yesterday. And she's had impressions of the main abuser in sessions before. She's also a shaman. And yesterday I walked in and he was walking in behind me, and he was a clown, a very scary horror film looking clown. And we, cast him out, sent him away, forgave, all that, all the things, whole nother layer of forgiveness. Been there before,
Mhm.
And after that, um, actually misspoke. It was Wednesday, not yesterday. Not that it matters. And I've been journaling and having these big shifts internally, an awareness of how I was unconsciously meeting needs, how I've been showing up in relationships. And so with that, I am becoming clear. I see truth, not fantasy built on hope, desire, or wishing about the way things are. I'm becoming stronger and more centered in truth. And I now trust my body to tell me the truth of where I am and what's right for me in a collaborative way, rather than sensing what it tells me and then needing to double check it or test it or verify. I just trust and move forward in a team, collaborative, united way.
Mm. I see you, I hear you. I thank you for sharing. And I'm just, some things happen in the moment, right? I just feel like I'm gonna, whatever you both of you are bringing, I want to be a party to collaborating with you on that, calling that in with you. And what about you, Kim?
Um, well, just to kind of start with just sort of some preface would be that like I've done a lot of mind and um, spiritual work, and it always seems like the body kind of gets put on the back burner. It's the last thing. And so um, the woman I'm becoming is stronger and more connected to her body's needs with mindful listening and gentle movement. And I now trust my body to open up to the layers as my practice expands while learning.
Mm. Oh, I think it's interesting. I just decided to jot some things down too, but there's a similar vein, I feel like, for us. And I just wrote down, I'm becoming the woman who I have trust in myself with God. Like that's in, part of how that happens is through God, God's pure truth and source that is, I am a part of, and I get to really have and receive that, live that way. And then, and it's a continuation probably for me as well. I now trust my body to heal. Like you said, Sonia, with the forgiveness, how it's like you did it, you're doing it again, right? Yeah, because that spiral, right, of life, another layer of what that means, right? That's been revealed to our awareness. So same thing to heal miraculously. I've literally experienced straight up miracles, you know? And so whether it's big or small, but to heal and for my body to tell me, even alert me when I need alerting, um, to what I get to do, what I need, what maybe I'm ignoring, what my desires are. Like we are in even deeper communion together. And this piece came up of I have permission. It's not even that I need it, but it's the fact that how I've been holding back, not even though I don't need permission, right? But I can sometimes if you're not giving it to yourself, then you still get to have it, right? You get to turn that page and go, well, permission granted, right? So thank you for sharing.
And thank you for sharing as well.
I'm sorry, Kim, I couldn't hear you.
Thank you for sharing as well, both of you. I appreciate the vulnerability, and I feel it all in my heart.
Yeah, I really feel both of you very much. And opening up is how we connect even more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That vulnerability, that intimacy, which is so delicious, only happens when we allow ourselves to be known and allow ourselves to be present to know another. So I wanted to have some time here to look back a bit on some things that we've learned, because it just anchors, like, again, the analogy, right, of you forgiving another layer of me, also, right, healing another layer. It just, that's the embodiment piece, right? It's like, ooh, another layer of owning something. So I wanted to just popcorn some things, some principles that you've learned. Like, what stuck with you? What did you hear a bunch? What are you taking with you? These primary teachings.
Support creates release.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, baby. Good. I'm so glad that one landed. That's the first one on my list too, right?
I would also say that if I discern tension, that's a cue to look for how to use my bones to support me instead of my muscles.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna write some down if I don't have use my bones instead of my muscles. Good.
Yeah, structure, whether it's bones or seat or it's
Yeah.
what structure is in place, because the current structure is not supporting the release. Which also means it's not supporting flow because I'm holding or
Yeah.
bracing or grasping instead. Because
Yes.
it causes
Brilliant.
tension.
Yes. That's great. What else is coming up? I'll help you too. I've got a list of some things, but let me see what's landing the most. And
Well, we talked about layers and circling and the spiral. And I would say that, when it comes to growth and self awareness and healing, when you release a layer in the body, you get a lot more sudden insights of clarity, um, with a lot more ease and speed, I think, than if you're just trying to do it in your head or in your head and your heart by like looking at your thoughts and your feelings. Those are important and they're useful, but it's incomplete. You need to have the body with you.
Yeah, I'll piggyback onto that. That's kind of what I was saying about the mind and the spirit, but the body, like it holds that trauma, and you don't even sometimes realize it's there until you start to do this practice, and kind of that's, yeah, then when you're releasing it, then that clarity comes like, oh, okay, it was hanging out in there.
yeah,
Or,
right?
yeah.
Like, how can we be clear if we can't even get to it because there's this barrier, right? This protection, piece.
And I mean, there's always a layer of, or the part about just being gentle with yourself too, as these things unfold, because some days your body is more capable of going there and doing all the things than other days. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, I think that's why it's called practice, instead of, um, like you said, and journey. It's always kind of ongoing. So I
Mhm.
think this class has reinforced that too, because some days I was like, nope, this isn't gonna happen. Okay, and just try not to beat myself up. But I'm like, I'm here, I'm giving it a shot, so
Yeah. Yeah, and then, well, can we listen to what the body's saying and choose, maybe it's a total no, right? And like letting no be honored. I just took one of the classes I was taking over the last couple of weeks. Essentially, this guy was like, "Go for no, get your nose," and it was like, right when we're in a business, we're so like we need those yeses, yes, 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 pressure, pressure, pushing, right? And so he flipped that on its lid, and I was really having fun. And guess what I realized? At day one, I was like, just taking that pressure off of needing, wanting, gotta having, the yeses, the and instead like trying to just like the mentality owning grounding in the space of I'm going for no's. I was getting yes, 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 yeah. I was like, okay, so I guess I need to expand what I'm asking if I'm going to, the goal here is a no somewhere, which then tells you your limits, right? It defines where a no is because we have yeses, nos, and maybes. And so this place of it's obvious when we're in a yes, right? We're in the pose, we're present to what's happening, but the no's are pretty obvious too, right? And but it's those maybes that allow us to explore and get curious. They allow for different ways, right? So can we pivot? Can we pivot again? Can we pivot? Oh, we found the path now, right? Or what's possible today in this moment anyway. And that's okay. So what I'm hearing with what you said is be with what is and no judgment. And that's one of the things on this list too, is we notice without judgment. Is anything else coming up?
Just to piggyback on what you both were saying, like, I wrote it down here when she was saying be gentle with yourself. It's like, yeah, it's like the self-love, the compassion, instead of the judging, making wrong, or ignoring and pushing through. Yeah, and these are all like concepts that I've already dealt with and found my way mentally, emotionally. But this class really brought it home in the body in a really deep and powerful way. And I think it just goes right to what I was saying about my office and how it wasn't set up to support me. And rather than initially see that and change it, I was tolerating it and making my body tolerate it rather than hearing my body tell me, hello, this isn't working. This is not optimal. This doesn't support flow. And just really being at peace with that process. Having done the head and the heart, I very quickly fell into that rhythm of, oh, okay, not making it wrong, not judging what shows up. When that no shows up, okay, how can I support? What can I do? And just being okay with it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love what you shared about what you got in that class. Class of notes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. His name is JP Morgan, by the way. John Patrick Morgan. I can find his, I can maybe introduce you together on Facebook or Instagram or something if you're interested. Especially as we're all business owners, right? Um, I got a lot out of it. Uh, we're finding ways to create things like it's not like tension bad, right? I need tension because if I didn't have tension, I wouldn't be able to lift something. I wouldn't be able to sit here, even though I'm sitting in the most supported manner so I can sit and relax, because we're going to sit here for a while, right? So I want to be comfortable. I want to find a way to stay open so I keep these channels open, because what I was hearing with what you were saying, like where it was taking my mind, Sonia, is, and both of you, because you're saying it in similar ways, once we honor this body, like the body's been a bit of a missing piece in this experience of life. Like we're just schlepping it around, and we're literally using our spinal muscles to push it through space, push and brace it through space. It's like, what? When you think about it that way, right? It's kind of like, what am I doing? All right, that makes no sense. Especially because I know the three of us know that we got to be the thing that we're looking to create, right? We know as above, so below, as within, so without. And so as I listen to you, Sonia, I go, yes, right? Because this piece of like beingness, what you were being, embodying, right, is then showing up for how to create congruence and coherence in your outer world, right? And it can be in your office, in your, your woman cave, or whatever. It can be in your business and your relationships, right? It literally can play into everything, especially when you think, and now, I may not have mentioned that until today, right? Or if I did, it might have gotten lost. Fear is in that tailbone, right? So we're working or wanting, desiring, visioning to go into a particular place. What if we release the tailbone and then sat and did our vision work? Right? And what if, this is one of the principles, right? We were learning contrast. So can we sit and vision first without releasing, and then go release, run the experiment, right? And then go sit again and notice. And then, because this whole thing has been about me, yes, I'm your guide, right? I have some information to share with you that you can put to practice, right? But once you've embodied something because you've experienced it yourself, that is way more prolific of a teacher, right? So that is one. Do I even have that on my list? I add to it as contrast is our greatest teacher. So because I know we need to keep moving a little bit here, if I do want to invite you to share more, and if you like and choose, as you're contemplating things, as we close this chapter out, if something like this comes up, share it. It's sharing. That whole phrase, sharing is caring. Yeah, because as I share with you what my experiences are, so it's a possibility, right? And or to be seen and witnessed as a human in this community, right? And which is very valuable as I do my inner work and I see how much I was not witnessed. Holy moly, that has been like that spiral again, right? It's like more. Last night I had another session. I'm like, oh, here we are talking about this again. Like, wow, same thing from a different perspective, right? So continue to share, because there's beauty in that. That's got to be, if there's one of the biggest fears I think probably have is like, I like my being alone, but I don't want to be alone with that forever by myself, like the only person on the planet, That's a very unresourced, I mean, there's God, right? But whoo, that's very stretchy to go, it's just me and God on the planet. Nobody else, right? God gave Adam a helper, Eve, for a reason, as a story, right? Or for real, whichever, resonates for you. All right, let me go through these others, and you can write them down, or I can just cut and paste them into your into your document would be a good place. Okay. So we said already, support creates release. A tight muscle is a weak muscle. Small changes create big changes. So little bit at a time, a big change is sometimes too much of like a freak out for the body, and it's like, whoa, and it wants to protect. But these small little changes kind of sneak in under the radar and they start creating, accumulating. It's like compound interest for the spine. Oh, I like that analogy. Gotta write that one down. Okay. So the tailbone is a powerful lever for the entire spine and body. You heard me say this a bunch. Notice what you notice. And then we've already talked about this. We notice without judgment. It's isness. Just is. It's data. It's witnessing. Contrast is our greatest teacher. Trust your own experience. I'm so glad that you're bringing up trust. Opening trumps stretching. It's not that stretching has no value, but opening gives you the stretching and so much more without the potential of going too far, pushing too much and injuring. We use arms, abs, and legs to do work, to use the body differently. We got into using all three of those at the very end with cat-cow. I know there was some, not able to do it as much, but we did it a couple times. It's miraculous, isn't it? How we go from the first time where the body's on edge and like, I can't do this. Like, and maybe we can't, again, no's okay. But amazing what happens from one to two. In membership, we're doing something right now called bridge, and you see it again and again. First time we do it, what? And just in the same week, because we do Tuesdays and Thursdays, we did it again on Thursday. The relaxation is just calming down. People are sinking in. We're getting there, right? So like you said, Kim, we have to practice, right? So when we use our arms, abs, and legs, we don't use our spine to thrust or throw our body forward. You heard me say soften, open, and release a lot. That is definitely a guiding principle. And then we're running experiments and noticing what changed.
Please do add these to the document because I wasn't able to keep up and get them all.
Yeah, actually better to just be present, receive that. Like we've done a lot of learning. Let's just let it seep in again. Another layer, just like we practice lunge one more time. Right, just another layer to be let in. And thank you for the way that you said things, and I took some notes also, and I appreciate that. So let me ask you this. Do you have your shift sheet, in particular, your day one shift sheet?
Not handy, but I remember what I put on it.
Okay. So
I do
everyone's
not. My house is chaos right now with
okay.
paper. I couldn't find anything but my notebook that I normally use.
When you
I
find
found
it,
a blank shift sheet, though. I was happy about that. I was like, well, here we are, back to the
well,
beginning.
yeah, let me say this too, because I know it's easy. Like at this point, mostly I'm not using it because I've been doing it for so long. It's a lot for our mind to document, right? And that helps with embodiment. Okay. So it's important as you go, eventually you may not use it as much, but I would really be pretty diligent with it. Again, it could be so fast. Just put the numbers down, a word or two. That could literally be done in 30 to 60 seconds. Okay. Get one of these I don't have one of these pens, right? That have the different colors so that you can reuse it. Every time you put something from your shoulder, if it's red, you knew it was the date. But yeah, exactly. Oh, look, you have 8. You got pink and light blue, purple. Yes.
Oh, I
Oh,
like that
I like
one.
that.
That one with the lime green.
The lime. I know, that was great.
That's nice. Yeah, where'd you get that?
I get a package of them that comes with, a bunch from Sam's Club.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Mhm.
So
What brand is
reuse
that?
the sheet. Oh, I'm going to keep going, Kim, just because we
Yeah.
started a little bit
Sorry.
later. I'll make sure that's okay. We can we can get in the DMs and share things like that too. So when you put the date, right? The red, and then you put the red numbers, that goes together. And I'm going to give you an important reason, another important reason to use it. And this is where you might use it more later. Like, use it pretty solidly. Like, let's see where you are in a year. Okay. I think that we should have at least a year of using those shift sheets. So you may need to print out 20 of them, something like that. Okay. But I have a newish client, like she's been with me for 6 months, but she started having things going on with her eyes and different stuff. Okay. And then we're doing the practice. She's not doing her shift sheet. And I keep asking her for feedback. Look, confusion, when a tailbone is tight, confusion is one of the ways you know. Just like fear. You want to start solving some confusion, get down on your blankets, release some spine, and watch what happens to your mental clarity.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, like we said, you see me do this, right? It's weaved in together. Okay. So I said if you were tracking, we would know, and but there's a blocking, like it's resolving, just FYI, but in the moment it was, oh, I forgot you said that. I didn't hear. We want to give the body what it needs, right? So if putting our head below our heart is creating pressure in the eyes, and we're already having some things going on with the eyes, right? But we don't know always what's leading to where. So sometimes on those shift sheets, you may want to put, oh, that day I did a lot of cleaning. I moved all these books around in my office. It was from downstairs to upstairs. I'm out raking. Whatever it was. Because maybe it's not the practice. Maybe it is. Maybe it's both. But if I know I did all this stuff and I was leaning over a lot, or is it because I leaned over into stage 2 of slow motion dive and that's too much pressure through my head and it's pushing on my eyes, which are already they need more gentleness right now, right? So when you're tracking things, we can start deciphering things better, which, helps us too in our private sessions. Okay.
I will say this. I would actually put worse numbers down today than in the very beginning, not because things are worse, but because I have more awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Also,
very,
one of my experiences as I've gone through this class is when it comes to doing physical tasks and relating to my physical world, it's a lot less effortful, more automatic, more ease, more flow, um, rather than staring in the head and the heart and fantasies.
yeah. I mean, the awareness is the piece.
Mhm.
We don't know what we don't know. And how can we know much when things are like this?
Mhm.
And the information simply can't get from here to there, That's when, just like a garden hose, if the water keeps backing up, it's going to pop. That's when we get injuries,
Mhm.
right? So we open up, information comes through, we get more awareness. We go, oh, like I'll give you a great example. This is really big for me. I think I've told you that I pulled my thigh out of my hip socket, right? Did I mention that? Right. Okay. So this side is of my hip is loosey goosey. The other side is caking up the slack. And look, this is the tightest part of my body that's trying to rebalance. And I still do things, right? We're doing life. Like I can't become a jellyfish, and nor do I want to, because I don't want to be succumb to waiting for the wind to blow me, right? I want to be sovereign. So we balance structure with flexibility. So anyway, I'm laying there Tuesday doing my Shavasana at my ending Shavasana. That's right. We normally start and end with Shavasana in a class or in your home practice, right? And I'm laying there and I feel like this, all this side is so heavy because it's letting go of some of this lifetime of holding and supporting my right hip. And I've been upping my practice lately. So it makes sense, right? I'm getting more results because I'm being more consistent. And so I was like, this is so big. Wow, I've never felt that. So yeah, anyway. So some of these changes, they take a while. The more you do it, the quicker it'll go. So I'm just gonna put this in the chat also. And if we want to do some quick shares around just, popcorning it. You can also journal with this a little bit more later. But if you are we're going to sink in with the subconscious mind a little bit, like what comes up when you think, who were you? Who are you now? And what surprised you in this process? We probably touched on it a little bit already, but if there's anything else that comes up.
I would say I was aware that the body was important, but there's a much more authentic awareness of that now that's like deeper and more nuanced. And so now I'm somebody that has awareness that honors and respects and doesn't judge. And I'm finding that it has a ripple effect. It's what surprised me the most is seeing how it's not only clarifying my own thinking and discernment of what I was doing unconsciously in my internal world, but also how I'm showing up in my external world, both with the physical space and in my relationships.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Everything's just getting easier. I've been having trouble with my husband meeting me, and it's not perfect, but it's improved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because of how I'm shifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who you're being, right? Who you get to be when you don't hold all these
Mm-hmm.
tension patterns.
Yeah.
Embrace.
And to your point about that tension in the tailbone, for me, my body had learned with that high tension freeze. So of course I would not engage with my external world as much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding, bracing, pushing through. Um,
Yeah.
so in
Yeah.
hindsight, it's obvious that of course I'm going to engage in the external more as I release and release and release, but I didn't see that coming into the class.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I think you're going to find this fascinating, and I don't even know if you can truly grasp it, but I'm going to share it anyway. In one of my trainings, we were doing this cat back bend, and I was really open, and because in training we're doing a lot of opening, right? And so as opposed where it's typically a little more challenging, but I was so well aligned and so well prepped for this position that just doesn't happen very often. And I don't say this to scare anyone, but I actually was questioning, like, do I need to come out? Am I going to tear something down there? It felt like where my sacrum meets my tailbone. I was like, oh, something divine came through and was like, hold on. And then I felt it let go. And I was like, oh, something I'd never felt in my body. I mean, here I was, 18 years, maybe 16 years ago, right? Like, what? And then this pervasive cold moved through. Frozen tundra. So, like we say, we freeze. It is literally frozen for lack of blood flow. And I was like, and whatever other reasons maybe I don't understand yet, right? But it was so cold that I was so stunned, and I'm in the pose and it's feeling so good. And I asked, we're teaching, partner pairing, teaching each other. And I was like, I couldn't believe what I was feeling, to the point I said, can you touch like my lower sacrum and tell me what you notice? And she goes, oh my God, it's cold. I was like, what? You can feel that? It's wild how literally things can be frozen. So, and you, Kim,
Um,
what do you notice?
I feel more like with coming in with the pain, it is like you're hesitant to maybe move certain ways or do certain things. There is that level of, you know, being having the fear of hurting yourself more, or maybe not trusting your body to speak to you. So I feel a little bit more um in tune and trusting and inward listening to my body now. And I mean, I think what surprised me the most was areas that I wasn't necessarily working on, like say my knees or whatever, were seeing improvement. And I think it's always surprising when you see the results like almost immediately too. Like when you're, from one day to the next, like being able to do lunge with more confidence. Because at first
Mhm.
you're just like, I feel like a mouse, like I'm just trying to be timid and careful. But then otherwise, then once you see and your body's like, I got this, we've got this together. And then you can just feel freer to do that, to try and to trust that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it is going to be okay. And you needed to move through that in order to know that for yourself. So thank you for trusting me and listening to your own self, right? You listen to yourself whether you should come in or not. So each of us has really experienced something that's only happened, but really because you said yes and showed up for this adventure. 12 weeks ago, as I'm hearing from you, you couldn't have experienced today's body. You wouldn't have known how to access it. The pathways were there, right? But just like a road that has a blockage, if you can't get through, you can't get through. And we created a way to get through and let every class build on the one before it. And so I just want to pause here for a moment and invite you to close your eyes and imagine where your body is capable of being 1 year from now. I'm just going to, with you, you can still keep your eyes closed if you like. I'm just going to invite you to let in what your body wants to let in here. Over the last 12 weeks, you haven't simply learned a practice. You've become someone who deeply listens, someone who notices and has become someone who trusts her body more, someone who understands that support creates release. Imagine waking up next summer, moving differently, traveling differently, hiking, gardening, playing with your grandchildren or your kiddos, working, loving, with a body that feels even more dependable than it does today. More open, more sovereign. That's the direction we're walking. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Like anything we want to create, this is being recorded. You can have me walk you through, or you can walk yourself through that experience. And when you get new openings, like the one I just described, where it was like, oh, wow, my sacrum is heavy in the floor in Shavasana, unlike ever before. Those are the type of things that you can use as the evidence in your visioning process as well. So people we don't lose progress because the work's stopped working. We lose it because, life gets lifey, it gets loud, work gets busy, holidays happen, travel happens. Right now my aunt's here at the house, right? She's been in the hospital, her son's here. We got, stuff going on. I'm stress happens for a variety of reasons. And the body will quietly slip back towards the patterns that it's known for decades. Some, not everything decades, but some things very much decades, right? And it's not because it wants to, but that pattern's in there. It's part of the lexicon, right, of our experience. And it's what happens when the body stops being reminded of who it is possible to be, right? And really, that's why my membership exists, right? That's why it's called INbodied. So we're taking this, we became empowered, right? Here. And that's why the name is what it is, right? In from the inside out. And embodied is for not because you need me, you have the tools right now to release in a very powerful, potent way. But because the body desires ongoing, if your body is desiring ongoing relationship with this work, while INpowered gave you the foundation, embodies where we continue expanding what's possible. And we explore in new ways to move, new ways to stand, new ways to sit and twist and bend and forward and back. I mean, all the ways your body was designed to move. And it creates a different kind of strength. It creates really stamina, and stamina is how we get through our day, right? Strength, like we have moments like mom moments or whatever, like the mom that can raise the car off of someone or their child, right? There's some strength that comes through, but we couldn't hold that forever, right? It's the stamina that allows us to enjoy our day, right? If we don't have the energy, that day is really kind of stinky, right? And it brings continued ease, and it brings resilience, giving your spine more and more points of access through its being open and adaptable, supporting you in everyday life. And so as your body changes, the way we do the work evolves too. So we continue meeting your body where it's at, and decompressing becomes a way of living. And people like to do that in community too sometimes. And sometimes they're just, I'm good and I'm doing it. I'm really good at self-starter. I have someone who I worked with in the last round, and she's just going to town 3 or 4 times a week. So that works too. So you've spent 12 weeks or really more than that now, right? Becoming someone new. And embodiment isn't just living and being a certain way. It happens when your body begins choosing the way of being naturally. Right? That's a very important distinction. Embodiment is this act of naturalness that comes through. Like it couldn't be any other way. So that's what we're protecting inside of embodied and what we're building. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to wonder anymore. We've been through this process, so we don't have to question whether it works because you've experienced it. Your body already knows. So it's more a question of whether joining is more of like, who do you become if you continue in that sense? So I'll share my screen here and show you what embodied looks like. And you can take a screenshot of that. Can you see it? Okay, I'll make that cover. So embodied is we do these foundational pieces and so much more. So you've learned of 20-ish poses, but I think there's about 188 different ways of moving, right? And there's different points of access into the spine. So we've learned the foundational pieces, and sometimes it's some other way that is the kicker for some particular pattern. And so we do one foundational live practice. Like what's guaranteed is we will have one practice per week. But really what happens is almost every week I have 2 classes. Sometimes I'm traveling for whatever reason or not able, or it's a holiday, right? We're taking a break, and we don't have both classes, but basically we have a Tuesday evening class and a Thursday morning class. And they're not exactly the same because this is a very live experiment, as you can see, right? I plan things for you, and almost always I never do the exact plan based on what came up in that particular class. Okay. But usually they're very similar. Okay. So we're doing like a repeat, another layer or something very similar. And so then there's this living library piece. So you have a smaller living library, but it's still a living library in your program. Of all those slow flow classes, I've been adding to those a little bit. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I added an additional longer class, because slow flow is more about how can I do something in a short period of time. right? Because I'm encouraging you all to, get the rhythm of doing the practices, right? Even if it's like a 5-minute reset, right? One pose, right? Or this 30-minute practice, but I did put another 2 pass of the spine in there for you. So in the embodied living library, there is like, I have no idea, hundreds and hundreds of, I've been doing this for so many years. Since 2020, I've been adding in there. So if I'm like, hey, you would be well served to work on abs, and we're not doing abs right now, so why don't you go take one of those abs classes and start, availing yourself of that practice. Okay, so you'll have access to that. And what are we doing in here? This is about functional movement, especially as we're getting older. We've been told that getting older is a certain way, and people complain. It's like reflexively coming out of people's lives, but it does not have to be that way. I'm not saying that we don't get older and some things might not, might change, but it doesn't have to be the way it's been. And we have that evidence, right? Because those knees can get better and better, Kim, because I've seen it, I've experienced it. So, I mentioned a little bit ago, it helps us with our strength, our stamina. We already know it helps us with our fluidity and our movement. And you're starting, if not already experienced, you definitely experience the calm. Maybe you're inching into this bliss. Like there's a stillness that occurs usually by the end of a class, especially when these classes are designed to be approximately 2 passes of the spine. We don't get 2 passes in every single class, but depending on what we're learning, right, and what stage we're in with it. But my goal is to get darn close to 2 passes of the spine every single time. So it's a deeper practice, and that deeper practice takes us to bliss. So one of the phrases I didn't put in INpowered when we talked about the phrases, but this is something I will say, is that we're transcending from resist to bliss. Because when we take the static off the line, that bliss bubbles up and through, and it's so yummy. We don't have to search for it because it's in there already, and it arises when we we create the conditions for it. It's our divine design, right? And we say that, but it's like, how do we access it? We access it by taking this tension off, and it's a natural place. And that's why I say open spine, open life. Okay. And so that is $177 a month. If you want to do month to month, you can come in and out. Like, sometimes you might go, I'm gone. This month is crazy. And again, you're not going to make it, right? So you can tap in and out that way. And then there's a little discount, if you want to do, you're going to be here, right? And you want that accountability with yourself in it. So you can do 4 months and get a little discount, right? And right now, I'm not the best with slides, so I'm just going to find it. There we go. All right, so right now, if you sign up, let me move this thing out of the way so I can see it. If you sign up in the next 4 days, always give people, if you know that you want to do this, great, let's just do it, right? We can sign you up today. But if you also are like, I want to think about it, like you want to run it through your body, right? Get your body yes or no or maybe, right? Sometimes some people act quickly and some people don't. We need a little processing time, right? But if you, in the next 4 days, if you do decide you'd like to sign up, then I'm offering, I don't know when I'm going to teach this. It's not on the calendar yet, but probably in the fall, sometime in the fall, okay? I'll put you on the list, of course. I'm going to do a 3-hour empowerment workshop called Stand in Your Power. And so what are we doing? Like what you mentioned, Sonia, how to be in our bones, right? We want to learn, it's like, so we're learning to get into our body and use our bones. And this practice is about standing pose because we want to take it off the floor, right? And into the world and apply it while we're waiting in line at the grocery store, right? Or, some people they're moving, right? From sitting at their desk to standing. And they think this is a huge misnomer. They think, oh, if I just move to standing, it's going to alleviate everything. It's good to move and not sit and be static all the time. But if you don't know how to sit correctly and you don't know how, which of course you'll learn eventually, or you can use the living library, there's all kinds of sitting practices in there. Okay, but if you don't know how to stand correctly, you're just going to take all the sitting patterns and layer on top of that all these standing patterns. And so you'll have new complaints. So learning to stand is really vital. And it involves learning, finding really. You can learn to find and establish the balance point. And the part of strength becoming stamina that I talked about a little bit earlier, that comes into play big time here. Okay. So you will get this for free. If you do sign up for the next 4 days. Okay, did you need a screenshot or are we good? Let me know when I can move on. Good? Okay, cool.
Questions?
Yes, 1 second.
Okay.
For when I come off screenplay, it always moves things around. And I have to find you. Okay. Okay, yes. What are your questions?
I have 5 questions, some of which I think I know the answers, but I don't want to assume.
Yeah, sure.
Which of the classes is the foundational consistent one, the Tuesday evening or the Thursday morning?
Whichever one you want it to be coming to. I am doing both.
I mean, like when you go on a vacation or whatever, which one disappears?
It depends on what's going on. So if I'm
Okay.
leaving on a Friday and coming back on a Tuesday, it's the
Okay.
Tuesday one. If I leave on a Thursday and come back on a Wednesday, or a
Okay.
Sunday,
All
then
right.
that one. It's not frequent, but I have my own continuing education, obviously, that I keep doing
Sure.
for
I
us.
understand. What are the times of the two when they are?
The Thursday, Tuesday night is from 6 to 7:30. And Thursday morning is 10:30 to 12. So I know that's probably going to be the one you lean into.
Okay. Um, are there replays for these if we miss
Yes.
or
Oh,
want
that
to
didn't
do
make it
again?
on the sheet. Sorry. Um, there are, yes. So there, I keep telling you guys we're going to get to school eventually, and we probably will. But for right now, we have a Facebook group. And so the way I've been that that I'm going to move forward doing it is there will be at least one recording available to you. Like until I get some help, I can't do it all. So I'm making sure you get what you need. But Tuesdays, I'm going to put directly into the Facebook group. And because I can't put them both in the same into these containers at the same time. So Tuesdays will go in the Facebook group and Thursdays are going into YouTube. And you'll have access to my YouTube channel, this embodied membership YouTube channel. So you can get it in different places.
Okay. And they're like long lasting, like if I have a couple busy weeks and can't get to them and then I can still get them. Okay.
Yeah, they're always there. I
All
don't
right.
remove them.
The 3 hour stand in your bones is approximately when? Because I have a vacation in September and I don't want to miss, but
Oh, I would actually even coordinate with you guys a little bit.
okay.
So you can let me know, I might put up hey, I think this is the date I'm going to do it, or I'm planning on this date. And if, first of all, it's also going to be recorded and you'll have that. But I know
Okay.
obviously you want to come live. Live is better. I mean, I will say this. I have people who don't come live, and it's better to get the work in through
Mhm.
reporting than not get the work, right?
Right.
I'm not going to not brush my teeth because I can't get to, the dentist. Like I go to the dentist and I maintain my own care and however way I can do it, right? But we'll definitely, we can talk about that as we go, and I might put a couple of dates up and let you guys choose.
Okay. So that answered another question, but popped up a new question.
Mhm.
And there were other things you did during the 12 weeks that I wasn't able to attend. Do I have access to those?
Yeah, you have your Google document.
Okay, so they're
Yeah.
in there. So I just have to find
Yep.
them. Okay.
There's a couple that my tabs got so crazy, and I'm like, where are these recordings? So there's a couple I need to put in there, and I'm slow. Like I've been literally trying to get 10 to 12 tabs a day. I mean, I'm not kidding you guys. It's a little crazy town. I think I probably had 250 tabs open.
Okay. And another question that I forgot to write down that's resurfaced. That's my last one, I think. um, you mentioned how we can pause if we do the monthly. If I do a 4 month and then like in month 3, I realize I need to take a break, can we just like
No,
push that fourth month?
no, that one's a commitment. That's why I'm giving the discount too. So your commitment will be my
Because
commitment.
it just, life happens, right? If my father dies and I'm out, kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, if that's imminent, I would probably do the month to month to have flexibility,
Hmm.
right? What is it? It's about 162 a month, right? So, it's significant, right? Enough over time, right? But I mean, if there's couldn't have guessed it emergency,
Hmm.
talk to me. It's not going to be for, oh, I just started this other program and now this is,
Yeah,
but
no,
like
not.
I'm in the hospital, I'm going to be here for 2 weeks and I know it,
Mhm.
you know, or, a family
That's what I
emergency.
mean. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about choices
Yeah.
I've made. It's the unexpected
Yeah.
shiitake
Yeah. Just,
that.
I'm human, you're human, but just talk
Okay.
to me and we'll see
All
where we
right.
stand on things. Okay. But that,
I totally get that. Yeah. If I'm making the choice, it's a commitment.
yeah.
And I also am aware of life. I do not
Yeah.
have control.
Yeah.
It's
Me
an
too.
illusion.
Totally get it. Like last year, I didn't know what Bill was going to do, right? Like, boy, and that threw me for a tailspin on many things. So I get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions for anybody? Okay. So,
I just thought of one. Um, all of our recordings and everything, those are ours for here on out, or do
yeah,
you take
it's
them off of I mean, should we download them onto our
um
own or?
if you can download them, to be honest, it's lifetime, and the way the lifetime is set up is, there's things I can't guarantee, like if YouTube deplatforms me or something,
Yeah,
right? You know,
you're not gonna like
no,
take it down intentionally, like after a year or
no,
whatever. Okay.
no, not at all. I mean, I want you to be empowered, right? I want you to do the practice. It's only going to make your life better, right? So the foundation of is yours purposefully. So you can keep, doing what you need to do.
I'm assuming if we did month to month and we communicated with you, we could switch to the 4 month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Yep.
vice versa.
Yep.
After the 4 month expires, whatever works.
100%. Well, it's the links are being made. The person who helps me, she's like, I will have it to you tomorrow. And I was like, okay. She's catching up. I mean, she's also had like car accidents, and now her father-in-law is, bone cancer, so everyone's having grace with everyone, which is part of why I didn't get my stories document. I wanted to get to you in advance, and I was like, well, maybe I can do it. And then it's like, and then I had to choose. no, I need to prepare for today. And it's okay. I'm going to give you get this stories document to you. I'm not sure because I'm going to house sit after we're done.
Mhm.
So we'll see how long that takes, but my intention is to hopefully create that document today and just send it to you. But if not, it'll probably be Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
When do we
Um,
do our one-on-ones from this program?
you bought the extended package, so you have 12 months to do it.
Oh,
And so 12 months from the start. So if we're 4 months in, we still have 8 months to do it.
but how do we schedule those? Like when?
Just reach out to me in
Oh,
DMs.
okay.
Ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't
And
know if you were waiting for like us to complete so that we had the foundations done and
yeah,
then you were going to initiate, or I
I've
did.
been along the way, I've been saying, I had mentioned at least once though, like we could start doing some things. And also I've been saying at a couple points, like, hey, this would be a good thing we could work on. Like I saw something going on. Like I saw a note yesterday. I was like lunge dash one-on-one, but we also spoke about maybe you want to do some identity work as well.
Mhm.
And so we can, I have some couple of notes and some things, but this is your adventure and you can choose what you want to do as well,
Okay.
right? It's everything, one-on-one's bespoke in its very name, right?
Okay. Can we schedule one for next week?
We can do that. Let's do, I need to afterwards,
Okay.
right? But I need to get out to need to get out to relieve my friend so she can go. She hasn't celebrated her birthday in a long time, so as soon as I can get out there, the sooner she can show me what to do at her house and plants, and then, but do that on the we can do one-on-one private instead of in.
Okay.
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 All right. So, any other questions?
Um, I would, I have a choice. I could either do a 1 month um, now, today, or whenever your link becomes available. Or if you're willing to still give me the bonus in spite of the delay, I could do a 4 month and charge it on the 13th of August.
Uh,
And I wouldn't be
let me
in the
sit with
group.
that.
Yeah,
Let me sit with that.
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you for, we'll work out something for you. We'll do that on our private
Okay.
zone as well.
Yep.
Because I do want to bring our container in for a landing. Thank you for letting me know
Uh-huh.
where you're leaning, and you can let me know as well, Kim, one way or the other. The thing I will invite you to do is, and you're already in a decision space, and if you're not in a decision space yet, or you want to sit with it again, because maybe that's how you process, invite your body, right, into
Mhm.
the experience. Right. And maybe it's like, I know I'm still in summer mode, I'm still traveling, and I'm going to do it later. That's fine. Or
It's just the
I'm going to go
logistics
with
of it.
INpowered material for a while.
Mhm.
So go ahead.
It's just a matter of my financial logistics, that's all. So, if it's not okay for you, then I'll just do the 1 month now and switch to 4 month later. That's all.
Sure.
So just putting it out there because I don't know for you, maybe you would prefer to have the 4 months, even though it's a delay, you
Yeah.
know.
Actually, what's coming to me right now is if you want to do the 4 month, you can delay the payment to the 13th. I will make you responsible for that,
Mhm.
like initiating back to me. But
Okay.
if you're committed to 4 months and you want that, standing in your power is important to you, it's more important that like we can wait for a couple weeks until it
Okay.
aligns. So
Thank you.
I'll do
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Check mark. Done.
Thank you.
It's nice to have some closed loops, right? All right. And I love it when it lands, right? It wasn't landing before I paid
Mhm.
attention, and then boom. Oh, it's landing. Let's solve the problem. Or, create the pathway forward. You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Mhm.
Pleasure. So All right, there's a couple of things I want to just read off to you because it's newer for me. It's what was, moving through me yesterday, and I kind of want to land it the way that I wrote it. And then we're going to complete in a guided awareness where I'm going to invite you into Shavasana for our close. So as we spent these 12 weeks becoming something new, right? Embodiment isn't just what happens when you live. Embodiment isn't what happens just when you live and be something. It's what happens when your body chooses this way of being naturally. Actually, I did kind of allude to that already, right? That's what we're protecting. Like if you're going towards more, continuing your empowered practice or moving into embodied, that's what that is worth protecting, right? That's what I'm going to say rebuilding because it's been in there, right? So we're letting those pathways come forward. And what I like about it is that, you know it, right? Like that's why you can make the decision, Sonia. Like it's not whether embodies worth joining. It's, you've had the experience. It's more about who you become when you continue, right? That future self that you just saw for yourself. So
I've actually been telling myself, not even necessarily telling, but like it's been repeating in my head, this would really work better if I did it twice a week in class, twice a week in class. So then I'm like, and she's offering twice a week in class.
and a little bit of space, right? It's like I try to make it like I sometimes do long weekends, which is why I do Tuesday and Thursday, but
Mhm.
so one of the things I love most about the work is that I don't know who you're going to become. Like we envision this part of ourselves, but we don't even when I envision where I'm going to go in any part of life, could be my business, a relationship, like the miracle of life is that source has got it all, like sees the bigger vision we don't see. So I don't know how your body's going to unfold, right? And it's awesome in that sense, this path of discovery. It's just everybody unfolds so differently. But I do know this, your future isn't created by one big breakthrough. Like I happened to have a big breakthrough yesterday, right? But it's really like more of this continuing, it's created more by continuing this relationship that you've
Yeah.
just begun, right? Little, 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 little. And then you're like, I'm rearranging my room. But in addition. So and that's what I think is really cool. Sometimes when things are so subtle that in this world where we really want so deeply to have these big breakthroughs, right? Like in the leadership training, we're like breakthrough energy. Wow. But meanwhile, the little things that your body was able to receive and it starts building this foundation through these little pieces that your nervous system didn't like brace against, right? And then it's like breakthrough. Naturally, I didn't have to create force or envision or anything. My body just did it. Mm. Like if we want, that's its own form of ease, right? When you don't have to even put like I put the energy of doing my practice in, but not because I was like, I'm going to get my left sacrum and buttocks and hips, like I'm going to get that to drop today. Could I use vision that in my future? Yeah, but I don't even know what I don't know. I had no, like, I have to trust my body that the layer that's going to unwind will unlayer. So from here, I will invite you into your Shavasana stacks, or if you don't have it nearby and you just want to use a chair, it's fine. As before we close today, I'd just like to invite you to experience this. It's a very different guided awareness. I usually guide you through your body. And when you come into embodied, well, you have it in INpowered too. I did it INpowered, but in InBody, we're going to start and end with a guided awareness. Bring it to the body each time. That's how we run our experiments. We notice, we notice, we notice.
You can tell it's my first time doing this in this space. How do I set this up?
And when you come down, make sure you have your head support just under your head, not your neck and shoulders. And you can start with, as you lay your legs over the stack, start with them laying next to each other. And as they soften, they may roll apart, but start together and then soften and let them go where they want to go. And simply, if you haven't already, closed your eyes and take a slow, delicious breath. And when you ask your body, is your body asking to continue? Just listen to what it says. Don't answer from your mind, your calendar, your fears, or even your heart. Just listen to your body. Because your body already knows. Your body already knows. And then notice the weight of your body being held by the floor and the blankets. Notice that 12 weeks ago, this was a different body. This body has learned. This body has remembered. This body has softened, whether by inches or miles. It is no longer the body that arrived here 4 months ago. Your experience is yours. You do not need anyone else's permission to trust what your body has shown you. If your body softened, it softened. If your pain changed, it changed. Those moments are evidence. Evidence that your body knows how to heal when given the right conditions. This practice has been teaching you something much deeper than movement. It has been teaching you how to become rooted and feel light. Rooted and have wings at the same time. Rooted enough to feel safe or safer in yourself. Open enough to continue growing and evolving. Strong and able to lean into your bones, your very own bones. Soft enough to move through life without unnecessary rigidity. Supported enough that freedom no longer requires force. Rest in that. And have a nice, long, deep in-breath with a soft and easy emptying. And another. And you can wiggle your toes and feet. Wiggle and stretch your fingers and hands. You can roll your neck and head from side to side. Stretch and move in any way you like. And when you're ready, roll onto your side, either side. And rest here for a moment. We do namaste together in this class and in membership. And while you're resting here, I just want to read to you what it means in its fullness, because we all have used it for salutations, which is fine. It works for that too. But to read the poem that it comes with is so beautiful. And so I want to share this with you. I honor that place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. Excuse me. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. And then you can press your hands and arms into the floor. Use your bones as tools, right? The arm muscles as tools to come up. Your neck and head will roll up as you tip your torso up, just ever so naturally. And then you can come back up to, or wherever your comfortable seated position is. And we can bring our hands together this is called Anjali Mudra. And it is a practice of integration and sealing. So I want to seal our experience in with that namaste as I honor that place in you and me. Namaste. And so my candle's still lit. Just want to thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your bodies and frankly, your souls, right? It's all combined in there together. Thank you for trusting me in this process. And my prayer is that you never again confuse tension for strength or over efforting for resilience. May you continue creating the conditions with this practice, the conditions where your body can soften, your nervous system can trust, and your life can open. So may you be rooted with wings so grounded but light. And may what you've experienced, and you use this word, and I was so tickled when you said it, Sonia, may what you've experienced ripple outward into your family, your work, your friendships, your faith, every room you enter. Thank you for allowing me to walk beside you for this season. And now go live empowered. I love you much. Yeah. Mm.
Thank you both. The journey and experience was not just here, it was here for all of us.
Yeah.
Deep gratitude to you both.
Likewise. Until the next time I see you, keep doing your practice and be well.
You too.
Bye-bye.